This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned.
Good morning, Richard.
Arkansas
I want to
operated.
start with
Go
kind of the differences
Pascal.com.
between the high school and transfer portal recruiting process. I remember Muss alluding to it, how it doesn't hurt as bad when you're recruiting a kid for a couple weeks out of the portal relative to maybe a couple years in high school, depending on when the relationship starts. I wonder what other differences you've seen the last year or so between recruiting a player out of the portal and at high school, and really the major differences that you found.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of difference. The high school kids, you're kind of whining and dining them. You're sending them graphics. You're obviously you roll out the red carpet when they visit. You do a lot of the photo shoots. It's more of it's kind of a courtship along with entertainment type situation where the kid's going through it the first time. It's fun. It's something that they've always looked forward to. Well, the portal guys, they've already been through it. Their main focus is just tell me. It's kind of like the saying, just tell me the facts. Just tell me the facts. How can you help me? How could I fit into your program? You're basically getting down to the nitty gritty from the very beginning, and just trying to get to know the coaching staff and the coaching staff trying to get to know you to see if both parties seeing if it's a good fit. And it's not all the hoopla, not the whining and dining that the high school kids go through.
Seems like this Arkansas staff has found its first good fit in their eyes, and Deion Menafield has found his good fit in the Arkansas basketball program. Is there anything you could tell us about the incoming transfer that's at least just committed to this point, hasn't signed?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. Only thing that I've seen of him is the video. I didn't see much of it. Didn't see him play live this year. But if you look at his film, he kind of, I've seen comparisons. He kind of reminds me of B.J. Young when he was a Razorback. Very explosive first step. Guy can obviously break down the opponent. Good mid-range game, and just extremely quick. Suitable three-point shot, but obviously could get better. But the guy that probably, when you watch, you're probably really impressed with just the way his ability to handle the ball and break down the opponent and dish and score mid-range and go to the basket, and also occasionally hit the three-pointer.
Yeah, we've always looked at this from the Arkansas perspective and how it fits the Razorbacks with this portal stuff, but we've mentioned a time or two, and you've written about it, that this really affects the mid-major programs, the Conference USA level schools, and how they recruit it. Are you seeing any difference in their approach now, in that kind of that mid-range 3-star, low 4-star guy that might not quite get on a Power 5 list, if you will? Or are you seeing any difference in the way those kids are recruited and the way the mid-major programs are maybe targeting kind of that mid-range kid that is finding success at that level and then using the portal to jump to the heights of their sport?
You hit it. I mean, guys that normally would have gotten opportunities on the upper Division I level now oftentimes go down to mid-major or maybe even below. So they have to go to the mid-major level and prove themselves and try to move up. And I can't imagine being a mid-major guy, a coach, or just any coach period with the the uncertainty of your roster. But it's the top 100 or so. You usually don't have a problem finding a high Division I school, but anywhere below that a little bit might be a case where you're not going to be able to get to that high D1 level just because of the transfer portal and the focus on older players.
And I just what is the right fit anymore? And if you're a parent or you're a high school coach trying to help a kid that's either your child or a player you've coached, trying to figure out, okay, because now, I hate to use the word stepping stone, but you're trying to navigate the landscape today. And I don't know, how do you figure that out if you're a parent or a high school coach trying to guide a young player?
That's probably the biggest frustration right now for high school coaches and kids that are kind of on the borderline of high D1 and mid major. I hear it every day. It is just something that it's a new process for kids now, trying to figure out what direction to go, because 4 or 5 years ago they had a lot more opportunities and a lot more options, and now that the number of options are kind of narrowed, you just got to live with it. There's really nothing. There's really nothing you can say, because I've talked to countless coaches, and it goes in football too, that it's so frustrating for them, and I guess that we've talked about this numerous times. I just wish they would do something to where it would open up opportunities for more high school kids, because there's high school kids not getting opportunities that they used to be able to get. So that's the part that it really hurts. I think most people that are familiar with the situation.
And I just wonder, in football, we're not seeing the FAUs and the San Diego States have that postseason success like we just witnessed in basketball. And maybe a 12-team field will see a touch of that at some point, but I highly doubt that. But I just wonder what the view is now, because you've had the Hall of Fame coaches like Coach K and Roy Williams and Jay Wright to a degree have all stepped away from the game, and we've seen the Blue Bloods really struggle in the tournament this year, and the rise of the teams I just mentioned that made the Final Four and a few others that were in that mix. I just I don't know if the playing field's leveling out or what the view is going to be, but recruiting in the portal and all that, it's at the back of it. I wonder how the views of the kids will change about what is a Power 5, what is a big time school, what's a mid major now. I think it's hard to say. Well, Duke and North Carolina are without question in everyone's eyes the big time. Well, they have been, but are we going to see a shift in that, Richard, as we've seen a shift in the results of the tournament, the games, and who's making this? Will this sustain?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. I say long term, no, because I still think that those guys will, those schools will still be able to get the cream of the crop. I mean, high school wise, obviously, and also they may alter their game plan as far as being more, I guess, active in the portal and getting older guys, kind of get in the mix, kind of like it Musk gets. But I don't. That's a good question. Long term, we don't know yet. Short term, it definitely you've seen the impact. Long term, I don't have an answer right now. I just still think that the Blue Bloods and the high Division I programs that have success in the past will continue to do that, and you'll have some mid-major, maybe mid-majors and schools that usually don't make runs in the NCAA continue to do that, but I still think that the majority will be the schools that we're used to seeing.
Talking recruiting with Richard Davenport, Arkansas Democrat-Gazette, Whole Hog Sports. Got a question from Kyle, Richard, about Hunter Dickinson, the guy from Michigan, 7'1" lefty center that Arkansas has at least been in contact with. Do you have an update for us on maybe his status with the Hogs?
No, I wish I did. I mean, there's so many kids. I mean, I know like Harrison Ingram is one kid that everybody's interested in.
Yeah.
And I've been meaning to reach out to him because he visited Arkansas and was recruited by Coach Muss and the staff. You get distracted just about every day about you say, I'm going to do this, and then this happens, and this happens, and then a new name comes up, and you get distracted. And I haven't reached out to Harrison, but I will to do that today. I told myself I'll do that. Now, here's the problem. A lot of these transfers, they're not the most talkative guys. Usually I can get a hold of the high school kids. They're willing to talk. It's very difficult getting a hold of a lot of the transfers. They're kind of like, hey man, I've had this situation before when I was going through high school. I appreciate it, but no, I'd rather not talk. So whether or not Harrison, tell me yay or nay, Arkansas has reached out, which I would be shocked if Arkansas hasn't reached out to him, just because of their prior relationship and just him being on campus at least once to see what Arkansas has to offer. So, but as far as Hunter, I really don't. And with Harrison, like I said, I'd be shocked if Arkansas hasn't already reached out to him.
Harrison played at Dallas St. Mark's out of high school, went to Stanford, had a solid freshman season. And as you said, Arkansas is one of the schools that developed a relationship with him. He'd be a guy that I think he's 6'7", 6'8", so he'd be a guy that I think that Arkansas would like to have. Transition to football real quick, Richard. Jimmy Smith has been on a tear the last few seasons in Fayetteville. I mean, you think about that running back room and what they had. That is an SEC running back room. What draws high school recruits to Jimmy Smith?
When you talk to him, he's just real. He's just real. They feel like, so many college coaches, they don't have that natural ability to connect with kids. I think a lot of them do, obviously. You're not in the business very long, but some guys just have that ability to connect with kids and gain their trust. And when you talk to kids, they just say, Coach Smith is just real. And they feel like that they can trust him. One prospect told me, I feel like I can trust my college career with him. I mean, that's strong. That's really strong when a kid says that. I mean, you're talking about a 16, 17, 18-year-old kid, and you don't normally hear that about a college coach. And also, he's been he's not too far removed from being a high school coach. He's a very successful high school coach in the Atlanta area. So, and he's got a great reputation in Georgia. And people talk not only in Georgia, but high school coaches from across the country know one another now. It's a smaller world, and his reputation is top notch.
So, you a Masters guy at all? Is this?
Oh, absolutely.
What?
Oh, yeah. I was fortunate enough to go the first two rounds of the last year of Tiger Woods' amateur year, and then the next year Tiger goes obviously as a pro and wins. But the Masters is something, obviously one of the greatest events in sports. And the greenest place on earth is Augusta, Georgia, Augusta National. It is just absolutely beautiful. I'll never forget the opportunity to be there. It's a first-class event, and never forget going and being able to get. Back then, I mean, I don't know. I might have been able to get a beverage and a hot dog or a hamburger and chips or whatever for about $3. They don't gouge you, and it's about
the same today.
Yeah, and another thing that I really like is the marshals. There's very few marshals because most people know how to act. You go to another PGA event and they're holding up signs, "Please be quiet." When a guy's about to putt, they don't have. At least they didn't have that when I was there, because everybody knows when to be quiet.
All right, enjoy the Masters and a good Easter weekend to you, and we'll talk to you next Thursday.
All right, guys, we'll see you.
Get analysis of every play, prop, and point at BetOnline. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to sign up and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Be sure to use our promo code BELIEVE to receive your bonus. That's BLEAV. BetOnline.ag, where the game starts.